You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn connects you with experts from all over the world to help you take charge of your career, your business, and your life. Rap along with us. Visit drjacalyn.com to learn how to become a guest or a sponsor. And now, the doctor is in.
Hello and welcome back. It's so nice to have everyone here. If you've been watching us today, really appreciate it. This is USA Global TV and Business Talk Radio, and you are watching or listening to Psychic Aminah, the show, because I'm not the pet psychic. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. And guess what? I have some news for you today. Not only do we have Psychic Aminah in the house, we have two psychics here today. It's a twofer. Can you imagine? On a Friday, two psychics. Let's bring out the star of our show, Psychic Aminah. Hello, welcome.
Thanks. Hi, how are you?
Great. How are you? Doing two things at once there, huh?
No, multitasking here. Getting our guest all linked in and that kind of stuff. So I'm going to send her our link again. But this is a great time for you and I to just update each other and, see where we are. And hey, hi.
Hi.
I only get to see you on Fridays.
I know. And, it's a shame because I start so early. Fridays are they're such a long day, but I'm always happy to see you. And for you, it's earlier because you're out in California. So it's
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock there. And I just finished with some people who were in the UK 5 hours later. So it's a lot of fun.
It is, isn't it? I mean, you must have just your head spinning with, what time zone am I in today? Or right this minute is actually more accurate, right?
Well, it's kind of a challenge because the website when people book, the website, drjacalyn.com, has everything in Eastern Standard Time.
Oh, okay.
And so when somebody books, they don't know exactly what the time zone is, and I don't know all the time zones. I'm pretty proficient with Pacific, Central, Eastern, and British summertime, but I don't know the other time zones. So I try to figure it out. But we had a woman on earlier today from Australia, and it was 1:30 in the morning there. So we had somebody from India. I think it was 2:30 in the morning there. So it's wonderful that people will stay up into the wee hours of the morning to be here.
The neat thing is I am a cup half full person. So I just look at it as, it's just so amazing that we can be all so connected. We grew up in a time where, first of all, I had to dial all the numbers, and every time I got one wrong, I had to start over again. Exactly. I'm like, oh shoot, got to try that again.
And remember way back, I hate to even say this, but remember when there was a party line and you had to wait till somebody else got off that line so you could use it?
I never had it, but my best friend did in middle school, and I used to go to her house. My dad is a teacher, and so he dropped me off first so he could take my siblings to high school with him. And so we always got to school really early. So I went to her house because it was walking distance to school, and I was like, wait a minute, why is there two people on your phone? And she said, it's called the party line. I said, I've heard of it, but yeah. So she said, yeah, we have to take turns. It's like, that is so interesting because at our house, we didn't have that, but she did. So, wow, I can't imagine.
I remember I got my own phone number. It was so like an actual phone, right? That you would, and I still remember the phone number to this day. Yep. But look where we are now. It's incredible.
Exactly. And I remember when we actually changed the area codes. Because we were, with different big cities in Southern California. And so we were going like towns 30, 40 miles away. We're all part of our same area code. And then all of a sudden we start changing. And, you went from 714 to 24 this to 25 this. And I'm thinking, wow, we're really happening. My little 20,000 people in my town.
I remember I used to be a big fan of Sex and the City. Did you ever watch that show?
Only in passing, no.
But you know what I'm talking about. So,
yes, I do. Absolutely.
Carrie, the main character, I remember she had to get a new phone because she broke up with her her ex-fiance, and the phone numbers that they had added a new area code, and she couldn't get the area code that she had before, which was like the area code to have in New York. I forget which one it was. And the whole show was about the fact that now she had this other area code that nobody knew it was, and it wasn't cool and it wasn't chic. So anybody out there who's from New York, if you know what the cool area code was, I think it was 917, but I'm not sure.
We wouldn't know that.
I'm not sure. So something I want to talk to you about. Please. On the show right before this, we had someone presenting about how connection is the antidote for depression, and how disconnected we all are, and how we need to reconnect in some way. And I think about that with the animal world. You know, how connected are we with our pets? How connected are we with the animals living in nature that we are throwing trash, and we are starting forest fires? I'm not saying intentionally, but,
and poisoning the water, and just not even thinking about the connection that we have with this planet that we need to continue. That should be paramount for everyone. Well, and it, for me personally, and I would love your input, all of that is so vital and so important for going forward. What I find befuddling, there's my technical term, as they say, Google it, I'm sure it's there, is if you even think for 2 seconds about the fact that if you decimate any of this, you don't like spiders, you don't like snakes, you don't like wolves, you don't like water, you don't like whatever, snow, if you decide that it just doesn't matter, then, and you're shocked when the world falls apart, what I want to encourage you to not just think about, really research it, find out for yourself, find out if I'm making it up and blowing smoke in your ears, or whatever you think we're doing, that the world is coming to an end, whatever cataclysmic thought, and you just put it aside and say, well, I'm just going to live in the here and now. But you won't. If you have children, if you've ever married, if you have a pet or whatever, they won't, whoever comes after you, because we are all connected. What I do affects you. I don't care what state we're in. I don't care what country we're in. It does. If you use too much water, and do you remember when we were kids, we all left the faucet running when we were brushing our teeth? Nobody thought of that. And you just, but it's easy. Well, it's just as easy to go like this, and now I literally barely get any water because our toothpaste is better, our water is better, whatever it is. And brush, off we go, and we rinse, and we're done. I'm probably using a quarter or less of the water what I was using in the 70s and 80s before I turned it off. So we can learn. But I think for some reason we're back into me, myself, and I stage, and it manifests. And I'm guilty of this. I'm not innocent. We all have our moments of like, man, I don't want to do that, or I don't want to, leave enough space for another car to get in or out, or I don't care what your courtesy is. You cut somebody off and say, but I'm in a hurry. Yeah, but you could have all died. As a person who got hit head on because a woman was in a hurry to get off of Highway 101, which is a huge freeway, goes through the entire state of California, and she's getting off the off-ramp. I'm in my minivan with 2 babies, 3 and 4 or 5-year-old babies in car seats. Please, I'm begging them, please be in the car seats. Because, kids crawl out, and I'd heard of that. Mine hadn't tried it. She hit us head on, and that van saved my life. And the dealership called me and said, could you please talk to other people? Yeah, sure. I don't want to talk to other people because I want to save that. But I also saw her not see me because she's not looking. She's not looking at me. We all make choices every second of every day with that gum wrapper that falls out of your purse and you didn't see. Is there blame? No, but maybe you could have put it in a different pocket, or gone back or picked up somebody else's gum wrapper that you see. And I do that. And my kids are always like, Mom, that's gross. Well, I'm gonna wash my hands if I don't have a means to pick it up with a Kleenex. Like now it would be a little bit more dangerous to do that kind of stuff. But what I encourage you is to don't think that you live in a bubble. Don't think you live all by yourself on an island. It's not possible. even if you live on an island, those animals depend on you being a cohabitant, not a dictatorship, because all of those fail. If you look at any of the islands, they have really, really suffered. I don't remember which plant it was, but I know Hawaii, people were used to be able to bring plants there, and now it's forbidden because they've decimated not only the native plants, but also the native habitats, the native animals that need those plants to survive. And then they've got floods and fires and all kinds of things. Everything has a purpose, even if you don't understand it. I've spent time up in Alaska, and yes, their mosquitoes are ginormous. And why I'm giving blood to them over and over and over, I don't know. But that's a question for later.
Yes.
You don't have to understand everything.
So true. And by the way, speaking of understanding, we have a comment that I'd like us to discuss. Our guest is backstage, Reverend Doti Boon. We will welcome her in a moment. Let's look at this question from Pamps. I believe society in today's modern world are not ready to comprehend the psychic capabilities we have upon animals and other beings.
That is so educationally put, wonderful. You've really come from a higher source with what you've stated. And so what I encourage us all is just think about I don't know how to get past selfishness, honestly. It befuddles me completely. But what you're saying is that what I do does affect you. It's not, oh, well, I choose to smoke. Well, where'd you put all the cigarettes when you stopped smoking? Then you made it my problem because it's on the street or it's in the trash and they don't biodegrade. And I encourage everybody, if you don't understand anything I'm talking about, look at the beginning of the first 30 to 60 days of the pandemic. If you go to, I think it's Vienna, right? The one with the boats and the town is all on water. Because I always want to say Venice, and I'm like, that's not right. So in Vienna, the first thing that happened in the first 60 days, the dolphins came back to the water. The fish came back to the water in 60 days or less. So I'm being very, very generous because I haven't read about it for 2 years. Because the water cleared up of motor oil from all the boats going back and forth, ferrying people and tourists and all that. They had literally just poisoned that water. First thing that the earth did and the world did was clean it up with all its ability to do so. So we are recoverable within months. Not just decades. Now, oil under the ground, oh my gosh, the towns here in California alone that people have been poisoned because companies have just thrown the waste out. Yeah, that takes decades. But the wildlife can recover if we get out of the way and learn to coexist.
Thank you again for the question, PAMX Pams. We appreciate you.
Very much.
We also have another comment on YouTube. Hello. Thank you for watching. We have Reverend Doti Boon backstage, and we're just going to take a quick break, and then I'll have you introduce Doti, and then we will actually have 2 psychics in the house on a Friday. Aren't we blessed? Okay, stay with us. We're going to.
Honest, we don't.
We'd love for you to send us any questions that you might have relating to pets. What else?
Anything. I'm an empath. Doti does everything, and I do, from people who have died to, we're going to talk crystals today and understand better about crystals and how people become psychic if we can get to all of it.
All right, let's take a quick break.
How do you want to be perceived? You're going to get the most direct, tactical tips and practical takeaways when it comes to networking. These 2 here are super important. You'll remember once the conversation started.
I love the tips that she gave out. I hate networking with a passion, so I feel like I can go to a meeting or event and not feel so uncomfortable.
When you're going to a presentation, you want to be educated. You also want to be entertained.
She was really fun and really personable, and everything she was saying was just very relatable.
She's got a lot of great ideas.
That will make you stand out so fast.
she comes across as someone that likes what they do and just doesn't try to sell you something.
Activity breeds results. If you're not doing anything, you're not going anywhere.
Just made me want to start networking, which I never thought I'd say before.
A networking strategy that works for you.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Hello and welcome back to USA Global TV and Business Talk Radio. You are watching Psychic Aminah. There she is.
Hi, everybody. Glad to have you on a Friday.
We've got a lot of people watching today across all the platforms, so I'm hoping we can get to some questions. So, Aminah, would you please do the pleasure of welcoming our guest for today?
Well, every second Friday of the month, I am blessed to have Doti Boon, Pastor Doti Boon, wonderful woman who's had a lifetime of experience, is truly my teacher, truly my mentor, been there when dead people are following me around and I can't get her to go away. And she's taught me some really, really amazing life lessons, and I've been at many of her lectures. Let's bring her on because we're going to ask her more things about crystals and talking to dead people.
Welcome, Reverend Doti. Nice to see you again.
Welcome, welcome. So glad to be here. We're going to talk about talking to dead people and crystals now. That's a big bandwidth there.
No, we're just going to go for crystals, and then everybody has to come back for the dead people one, because we'll slip those dead people in here and there, because, of course, Doti and I talk to them all the time, so it's not a big deal. Everybody's like, is that scary? Well, no, it's like saying, are you scared of dogs if you've always had dogs? No, you understand them a little better. But
yeah, crystals I think would be good for today, and dead people another day. So
exactly. More Fridays in a year.
Reverend Doti, you've been here before. We love having you back. But if you would just share a little bit about your background for people joining us for the first time.
Oh, well, I am a psychic. I'm also a minister. I have a spiritualist church that I'm the pastor of. And I started hearing from my spirit guide, Ma, that's short for Mahalaleel, when I was just 5 years old. And I had this voice that was talking to me, and then he had appeared to me in my playhouse. And when he said his name was Mahalaleel, I, of course, started calling him Ma. And I've been calling him Ma ever since. And he's the voice in my head that when I do psychic readings, I will say, well, Ma says, or my guide says. He's quite a character. He passed away in 1822 in India. He's Sikh, and he has a different outlook on life. And so when people call and talk to me, they're going to get Ma's version of what they need to hear. He's quite a gentleman. He is somebody that I honor because of his knowledge and his awareness of what's going on here on the planet right now. He's pretty good about that. He's not too good at computers. Anytime I ask Ma, I said, so what do I do with the computer? And he says, in just a little bit of an Indian accent, but me? He said, they didn't even have a telephone. But he certainly knows about people.
Absolutely. And some of the things I've been blessed to hear through Doti's talks over the years and readings that she's done is insightful. And again, Doti, I really want your input on anything, of course, I say, because you've got far more experience than I do. I always tell everybody it is free will. We don't read without permission. Right. I've been asked this, oh my God, did you read me when, because somebody sent me a message. And I said, well, no. And she wanted a reading for her dog, and I've been reading her dog for 3 years. So her dog and I were like co-buddies and stuff like that. So the dog had seen that she'd asked, okay, we're having these troubles. And so there was a bit of a conflict, and I just said, I know, things are tight and you really need an answer now, because it was a life and death question. And I said, he's ready to go. And she, it came from pain of saying, oh my God, did you read me without my permission? And I said, no, but I know your dog, and he wants to make sure you know this. So we would never cross that respect barrier. I know Dottie feels very strongly, and I feel very strongly about it, that we would always respect your privacy, and we would respect what you want to ask us or not ask us. Sometimes we know ahead of time, sometimes we don't. Again, our guides are going to prepare us and wait until you're ready to hear certain things. So.
And also, I think one of the things people don't realize is how much confidentiality we have, and that I'm not going to tell somebody. I have a situation where a woman is sleeping with 2 different guys, and she said, well, don't tell them. What?
Exactly. What? Why would I even consider that?
This would be a good time now to announce their names if you want. No, I'm kidding.
I think that goes against what we're saying, Doctor.
Yes, I'm kidding.
Where's that PhD for?
Exactly. Because people get themselves in conflicts in life where they're not sure what path to take, what they should do. And that's quite often when they call somebody that does psychic readings. And also because I'm wearing my ministerial hat, that's of giving people help where you don't make them wrong. Because people already feel badly enough about themselves when they call me. They feel like, oh no, I did such and such and such and such. And as you're talking to them, it helps them feel better about what's going on in their life. And I think that's the greatest gift that we can give people, is to make their life easier because they get another way of looking at it.
Absolutely.
I love that. Thank you,
trying
Reverend
to uplift. Exactly. Trying to uplift.
I have a question for you, Reverend Dottie. So, and Aminah, I didn't get to share this with you, but I had someone on another show, and this person is a minister and kind of took offense with me about being aligned with psychics. And so I didn't really get a chance to go down that path with the person, nor did I want to. But if you could expand a little bit, you have a non-denominational church where you welcome everyone. So what is that line, if there exists, between religion and the psychic world?
Well, I'm going to step away from that a little bit. I'm not a non-denominational. A denomination usually means Christian. And
I'm sorry.
I'm definitely multi-faith. I have people who attend my church who are Islamic, who are Christian, who are Jewish, who are Zoroastrian, all sorts of different, and agnostics, even a few atheists thrown in there every once in a while. And what happens is when people are talking about psychics, they are saying that this is against their God. And I believe personally that God loves each one of us. That whether you call God creator, or you call God mother, or you refer to the trees and the ocean and the river as your spiritual base, that's great. But know that all of that loves us and wants us to succeed. And if you're finding success through talking to chiropractors, doctors, psychiatrists, dentists, psychics, however it helps you succeed in life, I'm all for it. Because if it's done through love and not through fear or hatred, we all have a chance to excel in our life by taking help from all of those that can give it to us.
Thank you so much. Yes, that definitely does. And thank you for clarifying about non-denominational, because I wasn't thinking it was Christian. So, but it is, because I just looked it up.
In the Christian faith, you see a lot about dominion. And and for me, I try and pull away a little bit from that, because just last night I was teaching a class in astral travel. And I had a gentleman who had been raised in a religion that felt that anything to do with psychic and anything to do with something that's out there was bad. And he had been leaving his body and doing traveling since he was a very young kid. And all of a sudden, his church, his faith is making him wrong. in something that he had no control over. And that is, our kids have a hard enough time growing up nowadays without us making them wrong for things that they're doing, and they don't know how to do anything with it or what it is that's happening to them. And so I mentioned to him, I said, if anybody has that, tell them to go see somebody who is a psychic or a minister, or somebody who can make you right, not make you wrong. And I think that's one of my biggest issues is so many of the religions make us wrong in life. I don't think, at least my God doesn't make me wrong. My God says, I'm here to help you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
We have a comment, and I'm not sure how to answer this, from Ava Devereaux Watson. Is there anything for me? Does that mean anything to either of you?
Yeah, because what Ma says, Ava, when you say, is there anything for me? You are so in charge of your life, and yet, but you are taking charge right now, meaning she has the capability of taking charge of everything, especially her health right now, which she needs to sit down and look at. What am I doing to take care of myself and to make me feel healthier? And that's healthier not only physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, but it's the whole package. We can even throw financially in there, because Ava is just kind of lost. And it's not a serious thing. All she has to do is start coming back, and she'll be doing fine.
Follow up in regards to her career. So you just mentioned,
Ava, we can keep doing you all day here. Because this is the same thing. If you know what you want to do for your career, but you're not taking the steps to do it, start looking at people who are in the same career path that you want to follow, and interview them. Ask them, how did you get here? What did you do? Because you can take classes in how to become a chiropractor. I've been talking about my brother who was a chiropractor all morning, so that's why I'm using that. But you can't move your career forward until you take the classes and become a chiropractor. Well, Ava, with you, your career is something that's very good, but you need to get there a certification, a certificate you need to get that you can say, I'm certified in this, that's going to move your career forward.
fantastic. Thank you so much. We have another question. I'm just going down the line here. Can I ask a personal question? So I've been not well for 11 years, and I was wondering if I can get an answer when I see improvement, and what should I do? Thank you. And this is from, I don't know how to say the first part, I apologize, but Hope, watching on YouTube.
And Hope, the thing is that what I would like for you to do is, when you get off watching us, if you could start talking to yourself and say, I'm healthy. I'm healthy. Our body will believe anything we tell it. They've done loads and loads of studies on this. And one of them I think was great was the guy who ate McDonald's hamburgers for 30 days and was healthier afterwards. And another guy who ate McDonald's hamburgers for 30 days and afterwards nearly died. What was the difference? It was their attitude. One was sure that a McDonald's hamburger would cure him of his headache and of all of the problems he had. And the other one was sure it was going to kill him. And they both were right. And that's the same thing, I hope, with your health. Start looking at yourself as a healthy person. And whatever part of you that's not working well, start talking to it. I have congestive heart failure. And so when I wake up in the morning, I don't say, oh, no, my heart's not working. I say, okay, heart, today's another day and you're going to get better. And I keep cheering it on. And I hope you are so strong with everything else in your life. Let's start treating your health the same way you do your career, your family, and all the other things you do so well. And mainly start looking at doing something brand new. So your body goes, oh, we're not in the same path anymore. Whether that's walking, whether it's going out and sitting under a tree and meditating, whether it's doing yoga, find something brand new that you can do very well and tell your body, we're on a new path, and you're going to start feeling a lot better.
I love that, Reverend Doti. And I have to share with you, and I think I've told you both this before, but I have ulcerative colitis, and I just started saying to myself, you are not sick. Even when I was running to the bathroom, I'm like, you are not sick. You are getting better. You are getting better. And I got better. So,
exactly. And it's amazing because it sounds so simple, and yet once you start doing it, it works, and it's great. Thank you, Hope.
Thank you, Hope.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thinking about ourselves and being our best cheerleaders is everything Dottie's talking about, is what I talk about. You can't make a pet relationship change, a husband relationship, a daughter, a frog, the spiders, whatever your relationships are, you can't make them better without you showing up in that positive. I really want this to change. Because if we stay in a gutter, you're still going to be in the gutter when the mud comes or doesn't come. You have to make that choice. And we believe in you. We absolutely believe that you have the right and the free will to say, nope, I'm done being in the gutter. I'm going to be a little muddy, but man, this shower's going to be great, when it rains. And you find that petal. If it's just the petal first, and I mean like a rose petal or something, that you find joy in that. That's
beautiful. I just want to address, Ava has a follow-up, and she wants to be a TV writer. So I think, Reverend Doti, what you might say is, go find somebody who's already a successful TV writer and ask them if they'll mentor.
Even more so than that, because I have a few. I have a couple of clients that write for various TV. When you're in California, you do that. And what I say is find your genre. Okay, find out, are you going to write comedy or are you going to write mystery? What are you writing? Are you writing news articles? Find the genre that really thrills you and write at least 5 scripts. So you've got something to show people. I mean, the worst thing is to go in for an interview and say, I'm a writer. Well, what'd you write? Oh, stuff. Well, let me see it. Oh, I didn't bring it. You're shot down. Right. Because that person's never going to talk to you again. And believe me, producers and directors of shows talk to each other. Hey, did you see that weirdo that came in without anything to show me? So let's start looking at this as a profession. If you're applying for any job, you've got a resume and you can tell them exactly what you've done in the past. Get your resume up and at least 5 scripts for what kind of show you want for TV.
I love that.
And my 2 cents on it, what I did is exactly what Doti said, but I tried it all out with social media, like the Facebook and the LinkedIn. There's 2 different complete opposites. I'm doing a talk in 3 weeks on people that do our psychic type business, and they're like, oh, well, why are we doing LinkedIn? Let me explain. You want that credibility in every different genre, because there are people there that do what you do or do what you like. And Jacalyn, you're really active on LinkedIn. You know this. It's a plethora of people, but I also have on Facebook. So write something for that crowd. See what the response is. Try it out. Do a short ditty. Do a short this. Do a short that. Find out where your people live. So people say, well, why aren't you on this platform or that platform? Why aren't you on Nextdoor or this? Because that's not where my people live. Right. And when you test ads, you do the same thing. I did what everybody said. I just put out a regular ad and let the algorithm pick who it was. Well, I found out quickly men are 1/5 of my clientele. So I spend my time, because women ask for help more. Women tend to ask for help. You're going to learn this as a writer. You're going to learn where you really, really find your zen and your moment to shine, because you'll find the voice you want to share. Try it out on everybody. Why not?
Yeah.
That's what family for. Make them read it all.
Right. And back to Ava and make your name. You don't need a middle name.
Mm-mm.
That stops people. So when you think of that, you could use either your middle name as your last name or your last name, but try doing 2 names and think of all the writers you know. And when you look at the TV credits, quite often there's just 2 names, because it's quicker to remember and it's easier to remember. And that's what you want the people who are hiring to know. And so think of that. Okay.
And I don't know if you've tried this, Doti, but I've had people like Ava. She's got 2 all 3 of her names are slightly common. So if you find there's somebody else that has your last name, Ava, Watson or whatever it is, and then you go and they're, I don't know, been arrested 9 times or something like that. And that's not really what you want people to find. You can add that D initial. You can make some differentiation, even adding an I somewhere or something like that. But do Google your name. Please Google your name as you make this decision. That will help you see, do I want to go with the first name, the middle name, that? Because I love Doti's idea. Love Doti's idea about making it readable. Yes, because my name is really hard, Aminah. So a lot of times you'll see on mine, I just use Aminah because the last name just doesn't matter. How many Aminahs are you going to run into?
Right.
Spelled like I do.
Zero.
I'm the same way with Doti, D-O-T-I.
Yeah, I love it. It's so easy.
It's easy. And somebody said, you mean your name was Dorothy at one time? And I said, yes.
It still is, technically. But you didn't do the double T. So when I'm talking about you, and I know I have other Dotis in my life, I said, no, I'm talking about the one with the T. And I have a Patty in my life, but she's a P-A-D-D-Y. And that's how we introduce her. I said, no, I'm talking about the D-D-Y one, not the T-T-Y. You want to be one of those people that has something that's so simple, seems so simple, but it's easy to say. Doti's name is so easy to say, D-O-T-I. But how many D-O-T-Is do you know? I only know the one. I only know the one.
That's part of the reason why I trademarked Dr. Jacalyn, because I feel like it's pretty easy, but I can't tell you how many times people, even they come on the show, like they realize this is a TV show and they call me Jackie.
Oh no.
What? No, do
I'm
not
not
call
12.
me. Do not call me Jackie.
If I had a PhD, I'd be pretty put out too. You got the little thing on the end too, the copyright thing.
I know, it's just crazy.
Jackie, ouch.
I know. I think it's also important to mention, it's kind of an extension of what you were saying, Doti, is doing the work, right? Showing up like with the 5 scripts. And how do you show up? Like, have you taken the time to really connect with who you are and maybe connect with whatever it is that you're whatever you're putting out there? Do you realize what that is? So when you walk into that meeting, how are you showing up? And why should we give you the time? Why should we read through the scripts? And sometimes I feel like that when I'm backstage with people I've never met and they're ready for me to interview them, and they didn't send any information in advance, right? There's no bio, there's no headshot. And I don't do this anymore, by the way. As of last week, if I don't have the bio and headshot at least 24 hours in advance, I'm sorry, but you have to reschedule. Okay. But then they're in their car. They're in their bathroom. They are sitting with a pile of clothing. They're in a ripped T-shirt.
Oh, no.
Really? This is how you want to show up when it's going to be out there forever. I don't understand that. I think if that's how you're showing up here, I don't know how you're showing up the rest of your life, and there's no judgment, but probably don't come on the show again.
Right. It's not a good fit for you. And that's what you guys, you have to get. I'm going to pull this out. So you guys see the animals behind me, and this business card has them too. I'll tell you how much flack I got in the beginning about picking those colors for a back of an ad or a banner or a poster. And I'd go on these trainings and everybody say, oh, no, you got to be more slick. You got to be more this. And then I said, well, this is my logo, and this is this. And did you go to my website? And so they go to the website and they go, never mind. It's who you are. Stick with it. It's like, yeah, I'm going to be true to me from the get-go. And I got lots of people said, oh, you can't do it that way. Watch me. And if I'm successful or not, you know what? I put it out there, and it's in God's hands after that way, and the whole world if they need me. And but you need to be you. I don't care what color family. If you like all black and red, yay for you, or green and purple, or whatever. Doti is known for those hats. Where she goes, she is famous. You mean that lady in the hat? Because she's probably the only one in the room wearing these fabulous hats. So it can be as simple as you're the lady with the hat, even though her name is really simple, people. But I love that, Doti. You have a look. You have a presence. When somebody goes, oh, you mean I met like 500 people? I said, did you meet the woman in the hat? Oh, yeah. There you go.
Yeah, hats are great. You wear it well, Doti.
Yes.
It's because I don't have any hair.
Okay.
I mean, I've been wearing a hat since I lost my hair when I was very, very young. I went from a pastiche to a wig to hats, and here I am. So,
Well, it looks good
And
on you.
you make it. You make it work.
We do have a follow-up question from Hope. Do we have time?
Sure.
It's your channel. Go.
Okay. Will connecting to spirit guides help, as they seem very encouraging? Also, how do you connect with them?
Oh, wow. There are so many different ways. There's classes, there's loads of information on the internet. You can go on, you can call me, you can call Aminah, and just say, I want to get in touch with a spirit guide. How do I do that? But quite often, the easiest way is to get in touch with the spirit of somebody you've known and loved, like your grandmother. If she has passed, get in touch with her spirit. Get in touch with somebody who loves you. It's the best way to start out. And so when you think of that, for me, I started talking to Mom when I was 5. I didn't know anything about death. I didn't know that people died. I knew that animals did because I lived on a farm. But I had a being that chose me. And so we started talking. But if you haven't had anybody choose you, like your guardian angel or a spirit guide or however you want to call them, then what you do is you put out the request that somebody in your family that loved you dearly, please come through and talk to you and help you. And I know that sounds easy, but it's very, very important that we know that our ancestors, those that have gone before us, are aware of us. They're in spirit, and they're aware of your spirit, and they want you to succeed. So they're wonderful people to ask for help.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Reverend Doti. And
And
thank
just
you, Hope.
2 seconds, Hope. I mean, it's going to be fun. Look at it as fun. I was so intimidated when I was told I had to get a guide. I was like, guide, what do we do? Go down to Safeway? Say, hey, are you in the fruit section? I had no contact with psychics until I came to Doti's church and then was surrounded by them and that type of stuff. But I had been told by my psychic who lived in a different state. She said, oh, no, I'm retired. You need to go public. Oh, what? Because I'd always read for family and friends with animals and that type of stuff, but didn't grow it past that and was busy doing other things. So I went to the library, went to the whole psychic lane and thought, okay, I'm going to read it. And I went, yeah, no, that didn't work for me because it didn't work for me. But it got me educated a little bit, got me on that trail. As Doti said, start somewhere. Be where you did, and whatever that is, you can start somewhere. And then one day I knew I wasn't alone. And then one day I had that gentle voice, and I have a picture of my father up on our china cabinet, which is above our TV. And I talked to my dad. He's passed. He's been passed for some time, but I'm very close to him, and I talk to him all the time. And I'll lean over to my daughter and say, oh, Grandpa said hi. And she's like, okay, say hi back. He heard you. And then he's wondering, and now my fellow family's like, okay, who's she talking to? Oh, somebody.
But it's interesting how your family accepts you. My son called and he said, oh, I'm dating somebody and she wants to know if her book's going to be selling. What do I do? And I said, tell her, call and talk to me. Okay. She just wanted to make sure it was okay.
Yeah.
And
that's great for the respect. It really, really is. But the nice thing is we're not alone. When I do struggle, I go to professionals like Doti also. Yes, I have a guide. Yes, I have this, but you need to surround yourself with people, Jacalyn, like you have with your business. You are, with USA Global because you earned it and because you and they must have found common ground that you could move forward with this amazing platform. Well, I was gifted with finding Doti on Meetup because that was where I was really busy at the time when I moved back to this area. And I found a plethora of family. I have 3 best friends from her organizations. I have her and her wife that are my rock. When I had a person that I had split relationships with came haunting me the day after she died, Doti's the one who came in and said, no, this is how to put up barriers. This is how to put up rules and say, no, you don't get to harass me. And you need that support for good days, bad days, and boring days.
Right.
Thank you. And by the way, we do have a follow-up from Hope. Thank you. Oh, I'd love to talk to my dad. I'm going to also get in touch with one of you for guidance. Wow, which one will it be?
Get a hold of Doti because she's truly the expert. I dabble in people who have passed, and I love that I can do that. But Doti is the expert there. I'm the one expert with pets. She dabbles, I'm sure, into it and all that and can do that. But we love doing what we are truly passionate about. But Doti is the expert in past things, everything, all of that, crystals, all that education. Please get a hold of Doti.
She's going with Doti. Go Doti. Yay. Yay.
Thank you very much, Aminah.
No, I just telling the truth. I gotta be the truth, because I come to you for the same thing. I just said that. When I had trouble, I called you and you stepped in and told me I have a right to have my own home unhaunted. By somebody else saying, no, you got to talk to my daughter. And it's like, no, what am I going to do? Go up to her. No, your mother doesn't want your wedding to look like that. Really? I should be put in a box somewhere.
This has been a fun show. Great conversation. And it's time to wrap up, as I have a show right after this. But I really appreciate the audience engagement. And that's because of you two ladies. You brought that today. So thank you. Reverend Doti, we are playing your banner going across. How can people get in touch with you, and who should get in touch with you?
Who should get in touch with me is anybody who's interested in having a reading or finding out what a reading means, or if they want to come to our church services that are not only in real time, but we also do Zoom, and we also have them videotaped, so you can go online at the Center for Creative Living.
Yeah. Yes. There's those
voices.org. You can tell what a techie I am. I don't even know how to get in touch with me.
Just so everybody knows, somebody off screen is actually telling her this is not a ghost. It's her wife telling her what this is.
A real life person over here.
That just looked too weird. I just had to qualify. That's Doti telling Doti what to say.
No, Ma does not do computers.
And you do have a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that is Center for Creative Living also, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Center for Creative Living, and we're in San Jose, California.
All right.
And you can be from anywhere.
I do readings in people in various countries, and that's always interesting. Not that there's any difference about doing somebody in another country. It's getting the times right. Right. What do you mean you're in Australia? What's the difference? I was talking to a fellow in China, and that was very difficult because just the different calendar and everything else, because they were having a celebration in, of all places, Washington. And here I'm not aware of Chinese celebrations, so it's very interesting when you're dealing with people in other countries. Yeah.
It definitely is.
Thank you, Doti. Love having
Always a
you.
learning experience. Thank you, Doti. And guess what? I'm going to say publicly, I just learned what non-denominational meant, because I knew your church is welcoming everyone, but I didn't realize that non-denominational was only Christianity, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
And that means that you don't distinguish between Methodist and somebody who is an Episcopalian or whatever.
Okay.
That you accept all Christian churches, and which is great, because if that's what you're looking for. But if you're hoping to meet somebody who is Sikh or Zoroastrian or something, then you don't use a denomination.
Perfect. Thank you for the clarification. I appreciate it. And hello, Corky. Thank you for all that you do to help Reverend Doti get here.
I know she has fingers.
Hello. All right, Reverend Doti, did you give your phone number? I don't remember you doing
it. It's on the banner that's scrolling. 408-220-5780.
All right. Thank you so much. And thank you for being here. We'll look forward to seeing you next month.
You're welcome.
Second Friday of the month, Doti is with us.
Next month, crystals, okay?
Wonderful. Sure. I'll hold my breath.
Okay. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
Yes, we will definitely talk about crystals the next time. Aminah, I'm going to spotlight you, and I already know what you are going to say. How can people get in touch with you, and who should reach out to you?
My specialty is animals living or past, animals with behavior issues. Actually, I'm going to be talking to somebody here in an hour, and they're having aggression issues and that type of stuff. I am a trainer. I worked in the vet industry as a vet assistant. I have lots of college education. I worked in a wildlife sanctuary for 10 years. So I not only know what I know from my head and what I can hear animals say, and I'm going to help you do that. And I'm doing that on Facebook, is trying to teach people how to teach their animals language and listen. So we're doing that. But please, if you have any trouble, please give me a call and I'll do my utmost best. The hardest thing I do is lost pets, because everybody is so stressed. It is really hard to get through that emotion, but we do try. And so far I've been successful, but they don't have to be living, and we don't have to be in the same room.
Thank you very much, Aminah. We have a follow-up comment from Hope, and thank you. Take care. Thank you. We appreciate you being here. That means a lot.
Absolutely. Loved having you. Look at all the others. We've got tons of other tapes. Would love a bunch of topics.
For sure. All right, my friend, I wish you a beautiful weekend, and I will see you next week.
Yep, I will be coming back from the Redwoods.
That's right. You're off. Go hug a tree and have fun. Enjoy yourself.
As many as I can.
Try to take some pictures too. We'd love to show them on the show.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Jacalyn.
Thank you.
Have an amazing channel. We will keep it out there for everybody to see.
All right. Thanks, Aminah. Take care. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
Well, folks, I wanted to let you know that I really appreciate you being here. We've been on quite a journey for the last just over a year ago, when we started out on the radio show with a telephone and the broadcast engineer. And then we went to Zoom, and from Zoom we went to StreamYard, and now we have 18 to 20 shows a week on StreamYard. What you might not know is, in addition to me being a TV and radio show host and executive producer, is I am a certified holistic life and career coach. I'm a certified meditation coach, and I'm a certified yoga sculpt instructor. And immediately following this show, I am doing an 8-minute live. I do them every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday in my role as the listening mentor. I am an expert in the area of listening, which is why I can do my shows without any script. People always say, can you send me the questions in advance? No, I cannot, because I don't know where it's going to go. I'm going to follow the authentic conversation. And so I bring this up to you because in this world today, how many of us are really listening as an expert, putting all judgment aside, not thinking about what is the next question I'm going to ask when he or she stops talking, but just being fully present. When you are fully present, you can have much deeper relationships, better connections, and be more effective in your work and in your career. And personal life, I'm sorry. So Wednesdays, I talk about a topic for 8 minutes that's related to listening and or relationships. Thursdays, I do a guided meditation, slow everything down. And Fridays, which is today, I answer your questions. And someone sent in questions today, and I'm going to get out of this studio and this show, and I'm going to go on the 8-minute live and answer 2 of their questions. If you have questions you would like to ask me, you can just email me, Jacalyn@drjacalyn.com, or you can go to my website, drjacalyn.com, and you can contact me there. Thank you again for being here. Thank you, Aminah. Thank you to Reverend, Doti, Boon, and thank you to those who engaged with our program and those who are watching live and those who watch on the replay. We appreciate you. Bye.